Back to the Roast House podcast, where we are with the 2019, the last one. This is going to be the last podcast for 2019. It's going to be pretty epic. Today we've got Flash.
Yo, what's good?
We've got Fez.
Yo.
We got CD.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we got Venge.
How's it going?
Alrighty. Last podcast 2019, everyone. Should
Heck
be
yeah.
A pretty good ending, I would say. We got some pretty spicy topics.
Oh, we got some real good topics tonight.
Yeah.
Mean ones.
Oh boy.
Yay.
And this is the first one on our list, so we might as well talk about it. If you guys don't know the gist, there was a guy named Nappy. This guy was a YouTuber, streamer, stuff like that. He was hit with some allegations in regards to underage hooking up with peeps. Some pretty crazy stuff. And on Christmas Day, he actually went live. The guy went live. And there was so many people like, oh my God, I'm so glad that he's here. And oh my God, it's so good that, you know, he's here, like he's back, like all this crazy stuff is like, did you guys forget what this guy did, right? But no, it's like everyone disregarded that. So what are your guys' take on this? And was this a smart move to come back? Like, this guy didn't even address the issues at all.
Oh, he didn't address nothing at all?
Nothing.
See,
No, didn't he play a meme at the beginning though that kind of
He
like
played like some sort of thing like, oh, I lost my job, this, and then he did like some sort of song thing. He was laughing about it.
yeah, like making
Yeah,
a joke
that's-
out of
that-
it, like low key.
nah,
Yeah.
that's not the best way to go about it. Especially dealing with something with his magnitude anyway. I'm surprised like he was even able to come back from that, because usually, especially now in 2019, there's this thing called cancel culture. And basically it comes to stuff like with that magnitude or something that people are really mostly against, they make sure that you don't come back from that. So just to see like just to see like him come back to that period is surprising. And the fact that he's just like laughing it off and just joking about it, not really addressing it, is even scummier. So I don't get it, dude. I really don't.
Bro, all I'll say is Nappy needed to stay in the fucking garbage can.
Literally.
Like a lot of people don't know this, but I grew up watching Nappy. So Nappy was actually one of the first ever YouTubers that I watched. Fun fact, one of the first ever videos I ever posted can still be found somewhere out there, of a Pokemon Emerald Let's Play recorded on Camtasia Studio. And it was because I saw Nappy playing Pokemon. I thought that was the coolest thing. So when I heard all this shit, it kind of like pissed me off a little bit. And to see him come back and then handle it the way he did, yeah, fuck you, dude. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I could sit there and say straight up, I don't know or care for him, but a pedophile is a fucking pedophile. Okay, I
Right.
don't care what age you are. All right, if you're gonna do that to a young child and then block them, all right, and just act like as if it didn't happen, then you're a fucking piece of shit.
First things first. Let's all, just to throw this out there. All of these are allegations. Nothing has, in my knowledge, has been like 100% like proven in court. So
yeah.
So you know, I'm not, you know, when we say all this just for legal rights, stuff like that, we're not saying these things are facts. We're just saying what we've seen, what's been posted, you know, and our thoughts on the matter. So none of this is 100% like legally confirmed, but I mean, it's looking pretty fucked up.
Right.
I just don't like the fact that dude started off the stream like he did. That was like the most, oh man, I can't even think of the word right now, but
So
honestly,
heinous.
the most brazen thing you can actually do, especially if like you are serious and about the whole thing and you know how damaging that could be, the least that he could have been was more, let's say, transparent about it, more respectful about it, and literally apologize. Because see, the thing is, whether it happened or not, he should have handled it better because, like, he's an influential figure, pretty much. And, like, as a streamer, content creator, whatever you are, you have a responsibility. Like, why do you think this whole COPPA thing is going down, too? That just adds more fuel to the fire because they will look at that as like a huge red flag, and you don't know how this COPPA thing is going to spread due to the actions of a select few. Because that's one problem that I hate about society is the simple fact that you can't have shit because someone else always fucks it up for everyone else. And yes, you're hearing a lot of curse words from me because of the simple fact that the way this is going down, it is not good for anybody. And especially because of the fact that fans are so blind too. I feel like that's even worse than what Nappy is doing right now because they don't have a mind of their own. Like they're a bunch of wooloo, just bands at every little thing that they hear. You know what I mean?
They're sheep. They're literally sheep. It's like the people that follow YouTube, but we're not gonna get into that. It's just people that are fucking blind and they follow shit without even like reading into it. It's like, and they'll literally take up for nothing, dude. It's like they're the type of people that in court will take up for a murderer and they got a fucking video recording of that shit. It's so cringy. That's literally the type of shit that these people are on, and it's a little tough. I mean, again, I'm not the most knowledgeable on this fact. I'll be the first one to say that, but I will say the things that I've seen. Nappy actually came out and spoke about it and made a post, and his post said something along the lines of it was all consensual. But there's literally like, so like he didn't deny what happened. He just like tried to
soften the blow. Right.
So, so he kind of just took the hit and disappeared for a while and then came back, which I mean, you see how he handled that. And it sucks for the dude. He might have had a second chance if he would have came back and handled that shit in the right way, but he blew it. And it's just stupid because I mean he came back and made light work of the issue and acted like it was a joke and acted like it never happened. And when you do something like that, I'm not even sure because there's another YouTuber that was friends with Nappy that did it, and I believe she was like in her late 20s, early 30s maybe, and was messing with an 18-year-old. And as much as that's legal, right, it's still disgusting when the person is like highly uncomfortable and she's like seeing them in person, like trying to like force it in the community, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, in the fact that that person's connected to Nappy, it just exactly, it's literally a fucking cougar. And I mean it's legal. It's legal. So it's better, it's way better than what Nappy's situation is, but it's still like, it's like, come on. And all this happened in the Pokemon community at the same time. I felt really bad for the community. Matter of fact, that's what kind of like pushed me away from attempting Pokemon content. I saw that and I was like, just a little bit too much, negative vibes for me. I don't know.
Now, is it just me or what you just said, Flash, when dude said that it was actual consensual, like that it was okay? Like, still, even if it was, that doesn't mean anything. That's not good. You know what I mean? Like, how's that good? Oh, it's consensual. It's still wrong. I mean, regardless.
Exactly.
Hey, didn't we have this discussion like a couple of months ago where we actually had like a map of the world of the age of consent in each like country? You remember this?
Yeah, I think we had this on Discord.
Yeah, we were talking about this, all right? And in like certain parts of the world, okay, like 13, 12 years old, but in America, it is 18. I don't care who you are, what you think it is, all right? It says 16, but it's real, man. I'm a parent. It's 18, dude.
I'm gonna like, okay, so in Fez knows this. In places like North Carolina, age of consent is 16, but in reality, like it's still like, even if like on books it says 16 in certain states, It's like, but see, here's the thing. It's 16 in certain states up to like 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. So, and Nappy's way above the fucking 4-year limit. Like that dude's fucking ancient compared to these kids.
Yeah.
Like
he's what 20? He's what 27?
like dude's coughing up dust, hitting up these little boys. Like I don't need this.
How old is
Like he's
that?
covering-
Little
yeah.
boys.
I don't know. I don't even know, man. I feel like
That's messed up.
Even in general, man, like 4 years it took for a cover up of this.
Right.
Right.
4-year
old enough.
cover up. I mean, I read into it. And when I got into it was basically like he got what he got out of a underage 13-year-old. All right, and basically blocked him and acted like that nothing happened and swept it under the rug. And now it comes to light. He comes back and everyone acts like it didn't happen.
Right.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like this isn't like political like injustice tapes where, you know, I see like the Canadian Prime Minister in one of them little shows or whatever, dressed as like a, you know, I guess like portrayed as an African American descent character or something like that. Human being, okay. In general, you can't sit there and do that, especially being as old as you are. And come on, man, like that mentality, people like that straight up are just like they control and manipulate a young mind to do what they want. And nah, that's just not how shit goes up in here.
It's sickening too, because there's plenty of them out there too. Like plenty of people that prey on underage people, and they take advantage of them, and it really is sickening out here.
And unfortunate, it's sick and unfortunate of how easy it is to do too.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, Dino, do you have any like details? And I know you've been like, you know, you've been in the community for a while.
Like which specific one?
Like any details regarding the situation? Because basically we're just giving like our thoughts, like in terms of like Nappy and like what he said to these kids to like. Because I know a few things, but I don't know the whole.
I mean, I've seen like on Twitter there was like things floating around like Discord DMs of him and, you know, the underage kid at the time. I don't think he's underage anymore, but
right. I think all of these guys that they were talking to was like straight up YouTubers, and he pretty much came across and was like, I'm not going to promote you, you're not going to be in this group of content creators, we're going to kick you out if you don't be my boyfriend. And from what I read in the person
that was a lot of content creators.
yeah, and from what I've read is that like for a little while the person that he was talking to was unsure of his sexuality at the time. And,
Bro, are you serious?
and so like he wasn't sure how to feel about it, so he just kind of like rolled with the wind.
Dang,
and,
so you tell him
yeah, and like other content creators knew about it, but
and they didn't say shit.
But they didn't.
Wow.
They didn't say anything, to my understanding, because of how big. Was it how big Nappy is in the community and how much of like a leeway he had?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
that's how it always is,
Right.
and that's why Trump was president. Yeah, I don't like bringing up politics, but I just had to throw that. Like,
Man,
just
fuck
a
that
side
cheese
note.
doodle, man. I don't need to out here, man. He ain't nobody, man. He don't need to be in office. Man. Come on, man.
No, don't get in this conversation, please.
Yeah, let's not.
No, this is gonna start World War IV.
Let's not get into
I'm not
that.
getting in the conversation of it. All I'm gonna say is, not one president in the history has ever been on social media like our president. Okay, that's all I gotta say. And
I
that,
get that one.
you know,
All right.
so-
But straight up, it's just unfortunate that stuff comes to this. I mean, and to kids, so many kids watch Nappy, and like so many kids, you know, were broken and didn't understand the situation when it happened, and Nappy just kind of disappeared. And I think that's what we're seeing now when he's come back, is people who didn't fully acknowledge and, you know, understand the situation when they were younger when it happened, to him coming back now, to them being a little bit older, to them just being like, oh man, where have you been? Like, nothing can stop the king. Like, first of all, fuck that shit. You know,
I couldn't.
it's
Give
like,
it my crown, bro.
Yeah, I kind of told you guys this before. Before the podcast. But one of the things I've seen is these viewers are like, oh well, you know, his content is great, so he's a great person.
Ugh.
That is the biggest BS I've heard ever.
That.
I do not care if your videos are fucking the most best thing ever.
Yep.
If you're a trash ass human, you're a trash ass human. I don't care. That makes no sense.
There's no correlation with that.
It makes no sense. How does that make any sense?
It's
Oh,
literally,
you have
it's
good
literally
content, so you're a good person. No, fuck that shit.
it's
That's
gross.
stupid. That makes no sense at all.
And then make
Period.
asses look dumb too. You know, you could ask that same person that actually is, you know, praising this false king. I did say false king.
There you go.
Praising this dude, and you could just simply ask him this. Okay, all right, how would you feel if he did something, you know, like morbid to your child? How would you feel then? Would you still praise him? Or would you just, or would you get in his ass? I mean, what are you going to do?
Or check it, or even in this retrospect, think about it. What if it's one of the kids that watch him? What if he does that to one of the kids that watch him? You feel me? Is that okay? Is that okay to just do that to anybody that you meet, any viewer that comes around, anybody that supports you? Like, come on, man. Like cheap.
Like Vinge, you you know how some kids can get over VIP badges and like
God,
VIP roles, and like how like obsessed they can get with it. Like, can you imagine like Nappy or like another creator, like how easy it is for them to be like, hey, you're getting your VIP taken away if you tell anybody. Like, you know, it's like it's like stuff like that. You know, it's like,
and it's easy.
it's
dumb.
and there's definitely people out there that do that, and anybody listening, you have to listen out and watch for that. Like, straight up, like you have to be aware. And it sucks that you have to be aware of that, but I mean, that's just how the world is these days. And I mean, it's literally like a woman saying, you know, my boyfriend's abusive, he gives me black eyes, but he makes me laugh, so I love him. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's literally like that. And I know I bring out like these ways of saying things every streams, but like, seriously, it's like a great way to explain it. It's straight up how people are. And to me, it's disgusting. And I can tell you one thing, it blows my mind that if someone like me did a very small mess up that wasn't even something this bad, like, I'm talking, if I said something to somebody that was just hella mean, I'd get my shit jumped. But then you got people like Nappy, who's like, Nappy can't do no wrong. Like, it's like, are you kidding me? This kid's literally trying to get with kids. Ugh.
Now, Dino, quick question.
Yeah.
Now, this term, because, you know, like, I hear people throwing this term out so loosely, and I'm like, okay, is the term cancel culture, was that supposed to be a negative term, or is it like just the name? Like,
Cancel. It's so hard to explain what cancel culture is, but mostly people think cancel culture is like taking something away from them from the internet. So like whatever they accomplished or whatever they did on the internet, they can no longer be an internet person. They can only live in the real world. So essentially, kind of like canceling them from even having a presence or something like that, where they can't come back. There's no return.
So, but it's funny how so many people like to use that term in such a way where it's such a bad thing. Like, why does it even have to be called freaking cancel culture? I mean, like, honestly, it's not a freaking culture. It's like you're shutting somebody down that needs to be shut down, because if they continue, they're just going to continue to be a bigger clown, and more people is going to see that and be like, hey, if he can get away with it, I can become a bigger clown too. It's like, I don't really like the term. Like, I mean, it sounds so negative to me.
Because it is negative.
Crazy.
That's exactly what it is. It is negative.
Just something else to be trendy, man. Somebody
Exactly.
go along with the group, or just try to make a movement out of a saying or something. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not gonna mention names, but all of you guys know who I'm talking about. Is we had a situation a month or two ago, maybe more. I'm horrible with time. Where somebody took allegations of what somebody did with no proof whatsoever and tried to ruin their life. But then you got something like this where we have proof and allegations. You know, like it's not court proof because they don't want to take online pedophilia to court.
Right.
But like it's, you know, it's enough to where the community can literally ban the fuck out of this dude.
Basically.
And
Yeah.
you know, they're so quick. This person that we had an encounter with, everybody was so quick to join together and be like, yo, what the fuck? And then, but with something like this, it's like, I think the majority still bands together and they're like, yo, this shit's stupid. But just the fact that we're seeing as many people as we're seeing come out and be like, hey, Nappy, hey, the King's back, hey, and like subbing and donating and all this shit. And I mean, the motherfucker came back in sub only mode. Like,
Yikes. See, that's even more coward in the move, because like obviously your subs is gonna choke on that, you know.
I think Nappy was just like rent's tough this month, gifts and everything. I'm gonna go live.
I was thinking that too.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And
because I don't think he's streamed again since, maybe because of the backlash, but I mean, a lot of people sub just to say a few words in his chat, you know.
Oh my God.
So he got a decent amount of subs for that short stream.
So I noticed something in chat, and like Pizza Yoshi mentioned it. He was saying something about how his viewers didn't know. I'm gonna tell you this. I feel like at least half of them knew, but they don't want to believe it because, again, with the topic that we brought up, they just love his content. They grow up with it or something. They're like, oh man, I grew up with watching you, and like, you know, you just seem amazing in what videos you make, and this and this, and that's the part. So whatever, even if there was proof and it was put in court and everything, and he was guilty, there would still be these people.
They're just blind, man.
I mean,
obviously there's allegations, but again, if he were to be guilty, I'm telling you right now, those viewers would still be on his side.
of course.
Shocking.
Cheap.
Bad.
That's just how it is. Like, they just like the content.
Unfortunately.
And then this brings back to the Nathan thing. You have to mention Nathan. And here's what's unfortunate. I spoke with Nathan before, and I'm not gonna say his full thing. You guys already know the thing. I mean, he was really close with me and Vinny and a lot of us, Dylan, and I can keep naming people. He was really close with us because essentially what happened was that group kind of like shoved him off. So Nappy and them kind of like kicked him out, and we didn't really know why. So then like Decatur, I said his name. You know, he basically he messaged me and he's like, okay, well, this is what actually happened, and he told me all this, and I was like, it didn't sound bad. I was like, oh, okay, so that's pretty cool. Like, we worked with this guy after that. Like, we did all this stuff for like a full year, right? We did all this stuff. Like, we helped him, and it wasn't just me. It was just everyone in our side of the things that was helping him. But then all these other guys were like really, really quiet about it. They didn't say anything for like a full year.
Wow.
So like they let this all go by, and they waited until PAX or whatever that event was where they did the show me your moves thing with Dobbs and stuff. They waited until then to say something.
That's terrible, dog.
Why?
I'm sorry, but like
that makes no sense. So you just wait until everyone is grouped at one event, but we've done all this promoting and stuff for a full freaking year. Like, how do we feel? Like, you never thought about us on that, and then you guys just like bash him, and then bash, you know, Nappy, and then bash all these other people. You should have done this way before.
I'm gonna be real, but like, even though you guys would never, you know, I've known you guys for a while, you guys aren't the type of people to do this shit. But if any of you motherfuckers do anything this stupid, I'm tweeting that shit out. like dead ass. Like I'm tweeting it out like as soon as I find it out. Like I'm not, dude. Like straight up.
Yeah, we got enough pedos out here, man.
Like I'm sorry, I I don't ride with that shit. Like I don't figure it out and just, you know, be like, damn, that's unfortunate. But he cool though. It's like that's like me saying, because people want to roll with, you know, Nathan and, you know, Nappy because they had a push in followers. It's like I have a lot of friends that are high up in the YouTube scene and some in the Twitch scene. And I can tell you right now that if they ever fucking screw up like that, that shit's I'm speaking on that shit. Like
you got to.
Like at the, you know, I'm speaking on it, given the chance. At the very least, I'm cutting ties. But I'm definitely gonna speak on it if like legally it's like fine to. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's not to, if I'm not able to, then I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna wait. But I'm cutting ties and them motherfuckers and the viewers gonna be like, whoa, Flash ain't hanging around with this dude. I'm be like, hell no, I ain't. What the fuck, dude? I'm not doing that shit. There's too many. I ain't fake. I don't ride with nobody. I don't care what your numbers are. If you fucking stupid, get out.
You're dumb. You're dumb. Cause like I even tell people all the time. This is one reason why when I've done streaming and I'm transparent. I always tell the truth. You know, if I did something foul or I did something where it's like it can come back on me, hey, I'm gonna speak up about it, because you know what's uglier? Trying to hide it and then, you know, it just spills. You know, like a cup of coffee, man. It just spills and burns your dick. I mean, like, it just does.
It's a honey dick, Vince.
Like I don't want that happening to me. Like that, I would tell you this right now. If I feel like I'm falling, I would straight up tell somebody, yo, like, tell me to get my shit back together, man. I got to get back in line, because like I don't want to get caught up in no BS. I mean, it's so easy. Let me tell you some facts right quick, because I tell people this all the time. It is so easy to, how should I say? It is so easy to make the wrong choice. It's a lot harder to make the best choice, the more reasonable choice, that choice that will actually keep you out of trouble. It is so easy to make the wrong choice. And that's why I feel like people that make the right choice deserves a hell of a lot more than what they get, because that's one of the things that I hate about society overall, is the fact that the wrong people is always getting all of this nonsense recognition they don't even deserve, recognition that they didn't even earn. That is why America is such a farce now, because of BS like that.
Bro, let me explain it to you like this. Going to content creators like these and being fine with it is like going on Tinder, swiping right on an all natural freak, right? And then hitting her up, and it's like the ass fake, the rack fake, the lips fake. She can't get past the tip. It's like, fuck you mean? I ain't sitting with that. It's like,
he said tip.
No, it's like dead ass. Like can't like it's like fake news everywhere you go. You think I'm a chill with that? Like no, I'm gonna unswipe you. I'm getting out of there. I'm going on Bumble. I'm uninstalling Tinder. It's
Bumble?
over.
Oh no, you dying fast. What the hell is that?
Yo, straight up, dude. Don't even. No,
now you're gonna get me curious. No. We ain't talking about rib tips, man. I'm like, wait. I need to see this now. Okay, now you piqued my curiosity.
Yeah, but in general, pedophilia, you can't be doing that shit. All right. I mean, on the real, if you actually like look around your own society, your own street where you live in, if you are in America and shit, all right, you know where the pedophiles live. They're in the directory. All right. I can tell you straight up. I got one that living at the end of my street that looks at me like I'm a little boy, but I'm not no little boy. All right. And then, I mean, there's like 2 or 3 around you, but the thing is, you know where not to bring your children. You feel me? But you know, I mean, it's just wrong. Like, doing that shit.
Point blank.
Yeah, I mean, associating yourself with somebody to younger, you know, for somebody younger, especially that are real influential, all right, on us adults.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's old enough to be their dad, you know what I mean? And it's like, bruh.
Yeah.
America.
It's like imagine it's like Nappy used to be a full-time content creator. You know he's a bum ass dude on the side, like not having any real job. You know for
Damn.
Christmas time he was probably Santa Claus at the mall. So like you realize your children might have been sitting on Nappy being like, "What's good? Nappy Boy 92 here, back again once again. And today, people, today." It's like today, what would you like for Christmas? Bounce.
Oh.
It's like
putting the Christmas pictures up on his wall when he gets home in his room. Oh man,
it's straight up
kids.
like
Popcorn prank.
Like don't get it twisted, people listening. I have a very awkward sense of humor. I make jokes out of a lot of things, but this shit's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So
fuck this clown, man. He a clown. Get roasted, bitch.
it's like there's
Well, literally.
there's
Here's the other
no.
thing. I was gonna bring this up. So with Nappy, the funniest thing was when his stream started, he had like the live chat. A lot of those people were already subbed. So this dude was gone for all these months, and people still had auto sub.
They continued their
I have people who are auto sub to me for like 3 years now. Shout out to you. But if that's happening to me, it's definitely happening to him.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at his live chat, and those people were still subbed, even through all.
That is true. I saw
Crazy.
him say shout outs for 6 months to one dude. I was like, what?
Wow.
He touched me, but I still love him.
Crazy, bro. This man family.
I can't believe this.
Bro, dude.
You guys, it's your fault this is happening.
Hey.
You said embrace the rage.
Hey, might as well.
Embracing the rage.
Nappy came on that stream like, I like you and I want you. Now we can do this easy way or the hard way.
The choice is yours.
The choice is yours. It's like dead ass. It's like, come on now. I mean, the way he started that too. I saw a clip. I didn't watch it live. I saw a clip of it. The way he started, his eyes are just like the fuck me eyes. Like he's got the
That's a thing?
Yes, the fuck me
Yikes.
eyes are real, dude. He's got the pedo stash and everything. He was just chilling. He was like, it's like he was like looking out for his horizons. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What is that,
Like he was scoping the competition. He was
Yikes.
Lord have
Competition.
mercy.
dude came out with Simba, yeeted him off the rock and said, "It's a circle of life."
Oh no. Oh Lord.
Like dead ass.
He
dude.
went in with that. Oh no.
Anybody tuning in, you can't tell me you haven't seen the fuck me eyes at least once. It's
You
like,
mean that
I
red
need a
beam?
visual.
no,
Like that red beam or
it's
something?
nah, it's just the look you get when it's like me, you, fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh,
like
it's one of those.
yeah, it's like
It's one of those.
you know, personally, I've only ever seen it from women, but it goes around. You know what I'm saying? It goes
Like
around.
some sleepy ass, like, what should I do with it?
It's it's like the look. It's like big spoon, little spoon, like you know. It's like
Big dipper, little dipper.
but it's like in Nappy's way. He's like stroking his pedals. He's like
What am I going to do?
It's like one of those villains from like the TVs from like the early 2000s, like 90s. Like
This is too much.
Goddamn penguin.
you know, it's it's gross, but I mean it's facts.
Yikes. Oh.
Lord have mercy, dude.
Oh dang, man, that was rough.
So yeah, I mean, he changed his name, even on YouTube. I mean, he was called King Nappy, and then Twitch, he just named himself Nappy. It looks like he is trying to come back. But honestly, what he should have done is he should have made like an intro. If he really did, if he was wrong, and he admitted it, and he apologized, and this, maybe like a little story about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this is a slight. Maybe they'd allow him to an extent. I don't know, because he was gone for I don't know how many months, like 7.
That's like running away. That's like
he
anime.
was literally
Man.
hiding that still, and he made fun of it at the start of the stream.
Right.
Yeah,
So I don't know.
Yeah. Because it's like you're running away. You know, like when the typical anime lines, so you... Man, you freaking ran away like a coward, man. Like,
Yeah, there's one
Literally.
thing you're getting away from in social media. Social media remembers every day.
Social media, yes.
hey, Flash, remember this? You won't get away. You won't get away.
Get over here. Finish him.
Because here's the other part that's really difficult is putting a timestamp on how long it takes for someone to learn something.
Oh,
That's the other thing too. Because I mean, this guy was gone for like what, 7 months.
Mhm.
So like, everyone learns things or becomes better at different points. Sometimes it takes people 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 10 years. Like, but the problem with the internet is people put a time on it, and I don't know if you can really put a time on it.
You can't.
And that's the tough part.
When you do something like that, you can't put a time on it. There's no time back. So like, if you're gone, for years, you need to say
Those
something.
people that are saying that, and I'm not defending Nappy. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if you look at it from their point of view, they're like, oh, he needs to learn from this, and this, and then he can come. Like, there's these people that say that, but then they don't put like a time on it or anything. They just say, you know, whatever's on their mind as to how long this guy is gone and then comes back. It just depends on them as a person. And
Right.
that's what's really difficult, because they're gonna put like a time in their mind that they say, oh, okay, this is okay, you can come back now or something. It makes no sense, because I've seen those comments before.
right.
Where
The only
are
way
like,
people are gonna see it though on the real Dino, straight up, is if Chris Hansen straight up exploits him on Dateline NBC and shit. You feel me? Ain't nobody gonna see it unless they got video or any type of proof.
Yo, forgetting Nick Cannon, like, can Eminem diss the fuck out of Nappy?
Please, somebody.
Like,
Take it.
like literally, Nappy raps too. He makes music. It's like, can you imagine? Can you imagine how like? Can you imagine people who make music? They laugh about, or not laugh. They rap about their life and like things they've been through. And he's like, hitting up underage. Yes, bitch, I get paid. it's like.
I mean, it just spits on what everyone does. I mean, that's the thing that, even though, you know, none of us are, no one is really, you know, no one is in and shit like that. But it's just the fact that he's doing what everyone else is doing, and his like ideology and the things that he has done, it literally spits on what everyone else is doing. And especially people that are trying to be out here doing things the right way, even if it's not the best way to succeed. I just can't wrap my head around a lot of this. Like, it's just insane. It really is.
Like, don't get it twisted. Like, I mean, I understand, you know, Nappy's point of view. He's like, man, gotta be a player, you know, because I'm a player. Like, I'll hit somebody up, but if they in the legal age limit, like if it's okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, check that shit. Like,
It's not hard.
I mean, in this point, the dude literally couldn't even grow facial hair. He wasn't old enough, and Nappy was like, "Oh, what's good?" Like, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's like, come on,
Come on, man. Come on, dog.
Like, man, come on. I don't even know, man. I've never had to face that shit, but I already know, me being like as old as I am, you know, I'm in my 30s now. You know what I'm saying? And I got 4 kids, just like I saw somebody in the chat. And in general, you know what I'm saying? You think that's going to even happen? I'm going to let that happen to anybody? You feel me? Especially at that old ass age, someone's going to try to creep on my daughter. You know what's going to happen to that fool? That fool's getting beat up.
I'm gonna
find him and beat him up.
Dude, true story time with Flash. And my first job, I worked at a skating rink, right? So on one of my mini shifts, there's this old dude. He had to be like late 50s, early 60s. Straight up playing with a girl that's like 11. He was like pinching her ass, and I saw that shit one day. Dude, I was ready to fucking throw down. I kicked that motherfucker out so fast. Like, if you see that shit and you don't bat an eye at it and you still support that, like, you know it's wrong, but you're like, well, you know, their content's good. It's like, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
it's one of those things where, like, if you see that in our society, and this is the only way our society is not going to get continuously like worse, like if you see that anywhere, online, in real life, anywhere in your friend circle, fucking address that shit, dude. It's like,
that shit out. Yeah.
because if we let it go, it's only going to get worse, and more of them are going to freaking like come out. Like, it's
and be bold about it.
Yeah.
They're not gonna stop.
right. No, they're going.
They're
They're going.
bold now just by how these kidnappings are going. But
I
I'm not
know.
gonna get into that topic, but like they're getting bold now to the point they don't even care. So you gotta stop the shit sooner or later, or it's gonna get even worse. You can't control it at that point.
Yep. Can't let a virus spread, man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let me ask you guys, when you get the flu, do you go to the doctor and get medicine?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So when you experience something like this, wouldn't you go to somebody and explain what you've seen for help? Like right off the bat? Like, why would you wait? You know, like these people, like, I mean, it's also, I'm gonna come out and be this guy. I'm gonna have to be the guy, and there's gonna be somebody that has a problem with me saying this. But if you get, if you get pissed, I'm sorry. But if you're somebody that's been sexually assaulted and you wait 2 fucking years to come out, you're also part of the problem. I'm so sorry for what's happened to you, and I am so sorry that you've had to go through that. But if you wait hella long to come out about it and wait, you're part of the problem. And that doesn't take away from anything that you've experienced. That doesn't mean that, oh, you shouldn't be able to say anything at that point. I'm just saying you should have said something a long fucking time ago. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry.
That's a real talk.
I'm sorry. If somebody does some shit to me, I mean, I'm a grown ass man now, so I mean, if somebody does something, it's like game on. It's not like fucking weird. But it's like, if anybody did something to me, dead ass, I would have said something that fucking day, dude. I would have been disgusted, but like, come on, like, if you experience something and you know it's wrong, like, why? Like, there's people that write these messages, they're like, I know it was wrong, I knew it in my head, I just couldn't bring myself to say anything, I was scared. It's like, look, you need to push by that and fucking say something. I understand completely that you're feeling stuff that you haven't felt, but you need to, like, come on, because it makes it so much harder for these people to be held accountable when you come out and be like, well, this guy said something to me 2 years ago, but he hadn't said anything since. You know what I mean? It's like, it's much easier to get somebody in trouble to be like, hey, this dude just fucking messaged me last night or this morning. This is what he said. This is the screenshot I had. What the fuck do we do? You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody would have your back. I mean, I understand that it's not simple. But at the same time, it's, you
gotta grow a pair, man. You got to, because if I had to throw the chair at the offender or the victim, 2 years, I'd throw the chair at the victim. Real talk, because they let it go on for too long.
And that happens a lot nowadays too. Like, too often, to the point it's just like, dude, you could have said something a long time ago. And I get that, fear comes to the factor and they're scared of what's gonna happen, but it's like 2+ years? Why are you gonna wait that long to saying something,
Yep. That's why people get away with it so much.
Exactly.
Because you wait that long.
Right.
I don't know. It's like, I understand that like, there's some therapists out there that encourage you not to say anything. They're like, just get your distance. They don't encourage you to say anything. There's actually, believe it or not, there's people out there that do that shit, and they're part of the problem too.
That's just as bad. I never realized that counselors actually like said that to the extent as far
because
as
they think that the counselor is just enough.
Yeah,
counselor is not enough.
That's why I wish the counselor would just be like, look, I'm not the only person you should talk to or something. Or something. Like, we get it, you're professional, right? But at the same time, it's like, you're not the only person that should know this,
right?
I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah,
gotta have a social network and not just involving one little shrink. I mean, they just out there for the money, half of them. They get the money, they say their words, and then they split. They hit it and quit it. That's it. That's all they really do. you'd be lucky to run into that one person that's going to tell you exactly what you need to know and tell you what you should be doing. But half of them, they just out there for that paycheck. Just like half of these freaking doctors that just gives you shit that adds the problem but doesn't do anything to cure it. So
I mean, I'll even go as far as saying is, you know, if people take time, it's fine, but to take long periods of time, I think is the problem. Like years, like some people wait years to come out, and that's a little scary.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like those years.
There's no statute limitation on shit, man. You can do something 20 years ago and get tried for it.
Well, I mean, just think about it. That time that you're waiting to come out and say that person is going after other people. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta. It's okay to take time. All right, so I'm gonna backtrack on what I said just a little bit. It's okay to take time. Just don't let it get away from you. Don't try to put it in the back of your head. You know. Yeah, it's like, because I mean, it's never gonna go away. You have to address it.
Yeah, waiting too long makes it worse.
Like not to start another topic, so I'm not gonna say too much about this, but it's like, why do you think the people with this like Michael Jackson allegations and stuff like that are just now coming out? Because if it's real, I mean, it's been years and years and years. It never goes away. You know, they should have did that shit a long time ago.
Way long time ago.
But like, it's just proof, you know, it doesn't go away. I'm not saying it's true. I don't know all the details, but like, if it is and they're coming out about it now, it's like they tried to put it in the back of their mind. And like these YouTubers now, they even came out and they said we should have said something. So like they see it, and I don't know. Nappy is just like, Nappy is a lost cause. I think he had his chance to possibly, I'm talking about like a 5%, like possibly make a comeback, you know, like in a very small portion if he handled it right, and he didn't. So that's all that's all I gotta say to Nappy. Rest in peace, Nappy's career. Actually, don't rest in peace. I hope he gets shredded up in the shredder. I never want to see you again. Please never go live. I hope you get banned on Twitch. So that's
the more or less, you know,
that's my last words.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be fucking doing anything. He shouldn't be, you know, he didn't put nothing out there.
I don't even want you swiping my groceries. Like, let's be real.
This man.
Like, I don't want you climbing up to the top shelf to get my Lego box. Like, I don't want nothing. So I don't want you making my Wendy's burger. Like, what are you gonna put on the lettuce? Like, I don't want this. Like, you know, it's just get out. It's people like that just need to go.
I just know that in his stream he said that he'll come back to stream or something. Like, oh, I'll have another stream out soon or something. So I don't know. It just seems like he's slowly trying to get in fully.
Right.
Well, if he just gonna keep being a punk by using the sub only route, not gonna work out for him.
It's gonna die down real soon if he keeps that up.
Yo.
But the issue is that you just don't know how long it's gonna be. Like, if people are going to continually talk about it as well, that's gonna be really annoying to see. I'll be real.
Real quick, we're coming up on our halfway point. We've been so caught up, we haven't mentioned this yet. We have a Discord channel now. So I feel like we should have mentioned that earlier. I think we were going to. Yeah, I think we were going to, but I think we got a little occupied.
So got us covered.
So we actually have a Discord server for the podcast. So that is another way. I've actually seen some people say they haven't gotten notified when we go on live. So we will be notifying everybody here on the Discord. Some of us will be in the voice chat sometimes. If you guys want to talk to us, you can chat with us in there. All of our individual Discords will be connected to it. So I mean, also, you know, it's cool.
Holy cow, we're close to 500 followers on this thing.
Holy crap! Yo,
insane.
Thank y'all.
Also, this is just like if anybody tuning in on a different platform other than Twitch, this doesn't occur to you, but for Twitch watchers, I will be streaming. Me and CD will be going back and forth doing reruns on the Twitch channel. In the next week or two, depending on when we get our schedules and figured out, hopefully this coming week. And we're going to rerun the previous episodes. So if you missed those, you can catch them on here. The reason for that is we're just trying to push so we can get a cool little emote and VIP stuff for the people in the chat. So it'd be cool to just up the Twitch. But yeah, that's it. If we want to hop into another topic or something.
Yeah, I mean, what's our next topic?
Ooh.
Let's be top games of the decade.
I can't.
Ooh.
Okay, so all of us have our own lists. We may have duplicates, but who wants to start this off?
I'll
Keep
go
in mind,
first.
it's a decade, folks. It's a
Nobody
decade.
said something, so I guess I'll go ahead and I'll jump the gun.
Go
How
for
about
it.
that?
Go ahead.
Go for
All
it.
right.
Bang bang.
So I'm gonna go from 5 to 1, going from bottom to top.
Okay.
So my number 5 would have to be NBA 2K11. Now I know so many people, are not really expecting as far as like a 2K game. More than likely, just not expecting a sports game. Period. But I felt like 2K11 was like one of those games. I was just like, it was just so nostalgic to me to play. And it was one of those, I don't know, playing like going from that transition from like NBA Live games for a couple years before that to 2K11 was like the pinnacle as far as sports games. And that game there really led me to keep up with the 2K franchise as a whole. And I really had a ball with that game too at that point. And just as years go by, you see how the games now as far as 2K, it's pretty garbage as far as it just, the gameplay is garbage, the servers are trash, and trying to put in so many microtransactions within there. So but yeah, 2K11 was really fun back in the day, so that'd be my number 5. Number 4 would have to be Super Mario Maker. Not sure, I'm pretty sure there'll be a few people, on people's list, but I didn't really get introduced in Super Mario Maker until a couple years ago, but that game is so freaking fun, my lord. It's just the fact that, you can't really go wrong with Mario games, period, but to have a Mario game that's like really endless as far as the levels and being able to play different people's creations is really fun. It's really endless as far as the time and fun that you have within that game. So that'll be my number 4. Number 3 would have to go Dragon Ball FighterZ. Now this is one of the fighting games, one of the main fighting games that I can always come back to and just play and have no problem. I don't know. It's like when it comes to fighting games for me, that it really, it's like I have like an up and down. Like when a game comes out, as far as fighting games go, I can only play it for so long and then I kind of just die out, probably because I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know what it is with fighters. It's just something that I really, can really just come back to and really play with no problem. And I've had this game since day one, and I always come back somehow, some way to play this game. And I can't really, put a finger on it, but I don't
It's
know.
freaking anime-esque, dude. It's
I think that's what it is too.
That's
because
probably what it is.
I think that's what it
really
is.
gets to be-
I think that's what it is because I played Tekken. Avengers a big Tekken fan too. I played Tekken since like the Tekken 4 series from the PS2 days, and I played all the Tekken games, from Tekken 4 up to this point, and even 7. I never really even dabbled in that game anymore. Shoot, it's been a while since I freaking even installed Tekken 7. Like,
And I just did a
mercy.
video.
But yeah, I think it's really just more so the anime-esque part to it as far as Dragon Ball FighterZ and the 2D fighting mechanisms within that. It really makes me come back into that realm. So that's my number 3. Number 2 is The Last of Us. Now Flash. You already know how lit this game is. You already know how lit it is. It's, I don't know, it's one of those experiences, dog. You really have to experience it, especially now. We have The Last of Us 2 coming out May 29th, if I'm not mistaken. 27th, 29th, one of those. But it's one of those experiences that's just really dope. It's really just, it's one of those experiences, that's like, just put you at a loss for words, pretty much. But yeah, be sure to check out The Last of Us if you haven't already. It's like $20 now for PS4. So be sure to check that out. And my number 1 would have to be Persona 5. Persona freaking 5. I didn't know what to expect when I came in with this game. I remember the homie Ali G, shout out to him. I remember talking to him a little bit about it. And he was just like, it might be a cool game. I'm not sure how, you do it with like long games, because it is really a long game. But you know, it kind of, depending on that type of aspect, it'll make or break the experiences for you. And so I really, you know, took my time with it and gave it a shot. I really freaking love that game, dude. I really love that game, and how the story developed and how the ending was. Dog. That, oh my gosh. I cannot wait for Persona 5 Royal and see what's gonna be panning about that. But
I like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, Persona 5 freaking lit, dude. Oh my gosh, you cannot shoot. You gotta cop that too. That's pretty cheap too, I think. It's like $20 on PS4 also. Two great games as far as Last of Us and Persona 5. But yeah, those are my top 5. 5 NBA 2K11, 4 Super Mario Maker, 3 Dragon Ball Fighters, 2 The Last of Us, and number 1 Persona 5.
I'm gonna say my list is like interesting, but also like very highly played games. So coming at number 5 is Super Mario Odyssey. I actually really enjoyed Odyssey. It was one of the first games that I actually played on the Switch. It played flawlessly. I think the story was great. It was a little short. I mean, either that or I just grinded it super quick, but I think it's a little short. But I really loved Odyssey. I think it was a lot of fun, and I mean, it's Mario. You can't go wrong. I mean, I was kind of back and forth between Mario Maker and Odyssey, but to be honest, as a game, Odyssey was like that game. So number 4 is Batman Arkham Asylum. So I think the Batman Arkham games are I don't want to say masterpiece, but I think they are really, really, really good. And I love Arkham Asylum and Arkham City equally. I think they're fantastic games. But Batman is that go-to superhero game without a doubt, apart from Spider-Man. But that brings me to my next one, which is Red Dead Redemption 2. So Red Dead Redemption 2, the multiplayer kind of flopped, which is what a lot of people were excited for. But the story mode was absolutely great. The acting, the gameplay, everything about the story mode and single player was phenomenal in Red Dead Redemption 2. And in my opinion, I hold it above Red Dead Redemption 1, which was originally going to take that spot. So Red Dead Redemption 2 is absolutely amazing. So the next one coming up on, what is that? That's my number 2 spot. And it will be The Last of Us. So me and CD share a Last of Us title.
Okay.
The Last of Us was the first game that I ever stood up and clapped for when I finished it. It was the first game that when I finished it, I was emotionally invested and satisfied.
Definitely one of those games, yeah.
It was great. In Last of Us 2, I have so much faith that it's gonna at least be as good. So
for sure,
I'm very excited for that. People can say what they want about my number 1. I'm gonna be real with you. People are gonna say, well, it came out in 2009. Well, it came out on like forums and stuff like that on 2009. It came out around 2010, 2011 as an official release, and that's Minecraft. I think Minecraft is such a huge game in the industry. I think Minecraft changed a lot of how the gaming works and what people expect with their games. And I put countless and countless hours on Minecraft. It was my favorite game when I got it. I was obsessed. So Minecraft, without a doubt, my number 1.
You made me play Minecraft.
Minecraft is lit. I did. I made Vince play.
Playing Minecraft with this dude back in the storm days.
I can't wait to hear your number 1 match. It's probably gonna be Roblox.
What do you mean? Vince's number 1 is gonna be a hentai game.
Stop. All right, so let's get it there. Let's give you the facts. Since you said that, you tempted me now. Okay, we're gonna go. Let's start with our number 5. Honestly, I would have put this higher on the list, but the reason why, this was even longer than that. Like I know I kind of broke the rules with my number 5, but whatever. Final Fantasy VII, dude. Like, this game is still, this was old as hell, way back when I was in high school. sharing my age here. And this game is still talked about and still praised. And not only that, next year we're getting a remake for the game. Now it kind of sucks that it's not going to span the entire, like, it's like the way they're going about it is a bit weird, but it's still very exciting. And I just feel that it has to be put on that list just because of the fact that the game still stands, the test of time. I know a lot of people say that the game is like, overly hyped and all of that, but me living in the era when that game first came out is a legend. So I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna go with number 4. My number 4 is going to go with God of War PlayStation 4.
I have yet to play that.
That you must. As a matter of fact, I've been jumping around and I'm deciding to do a playthrough of that game. Amazing game. I had no idea what they was going to do because the previous installments of God of War was full of a lot of machismo, cojones, blood, tizzles, and all that good stuff. And so you was wondering, it got kind of old by the time you got the God of War 3 because the formula was still more the same. It was just more guts and gore and outlandish kills and stuff like that. And so how can you top all of that, including breasts all over the place? Well, they topped it. They literally topped it. Look, God of War. Look, I know I was gonna say something about that, but look, God of War, the PlayStation 4, they literally took this game and turned it on its head because this game did extremely well without all the need for machismo and breasts and whatever else. They didn't need all of that. It was actually more of a cleaner experience. They didn't have to rely on a bunch of sexual gimmicks. They didn't have to go with over-the-top everything that a man likes. And the game did extremely well. And it's like God of War, I had to put that on that list. It was an amazing experience. I didn't even finish that game yet, but that's why I live playthrough. So let's go ahead and jump over to my 3. My number 3. I'm gonna have to give it up to Super Mario Galaxy. Yes, okay. Super Mario Galaxy. I wanted to go with another and even older one than that, but I felt like Galaxy would be a better choice for me just because I want to piggyback off of what Flash was saying. Like when Flash was saying like the goodness of Odyssey, and Odyssey was an amazing game. And I feel like a fair amount of the things that was incorporated in Odyssey kind of low-key, a little bit, was derived from Galaxy. And people to this day still want to see a new Super Mario Galaxy game, which I would be super hype about because it's like one of those games that once again stands the test of time. It's one of those old ass games that streamers could still play and people would still want to watch it. It's insane. That's why I made Super Mario Galaxy number 3. Now my number 2 is I'm piggybacking off a CD on this one. Persona 5, the smexiest game on the planet. I'm just saying that. I don't think there's any game out there right now that has that much style, that much flair, that much charisma, dude.
And that much hours, man.
That too. Yeah. That too, dude. No lie. Honestly, I was going to say number 2 for the Persona series as a whole, but I might as well just say Persona 5 because literally Persona 5 topped every single Persona game that came before it. And those games was extremely good in their own right. It's just 5 just had something special. It was, oh God. Like, I'm still playing this game to this day, and I'm not even close to the end yet, but I'm still loving it.
I'm just waiting for you to get towards the end. I need to see your reaction, dog.
That's what I want. Like, that's what I want. I got to get there. So I'm still working on that. So here comes my number one, which is not Roblox. Which is not Roblox.
I can't wait till it be.
So my number one, now Dino, he probably already knows what, but I'm gonna have to give it to Mario Maker.
Okay.
Mario Maker was such a refreshing and shocking experience for me because, like, I grew up back when Nintendo, was just the NES, and I grew up off of Super Mario 3, the first Super Mario game. Not much of 2 because I couldn't find it anywhere. I rented 2, but 2 was just like stinking hard back when I was a kid. And like to relive all of that and to see people literally let their imagination I can't even talk right now, run wild and and create all of these different levels that you've never seen before. The creativity is just endless. I mean, like, if there wasn't a Mario Maker 2, I bet your bottom dollar people would have still been making content with Mario Maker 1.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah.
We've all been doing that.
Yeah. And Mario Maker 2, you wouldn't have... I didn't think that, like, Mario Maker 2 would really, like, would be extremely different from the first one, but it is. Like, they took speedrun levels to a whole nother level. Like, real talk, I love speedruns to death, especially how creative and crazy people have been getting with the speedruns, among other things as well, with the inclusion of a power-up that is more than just a reskin. Freaking Link, bro. I mean, I'm not huge on Zelda, but like, for them to do that, and Link has all those different abilities, was so freaking amazing. So I gotta hand it to Nintendo on Mario Maker. That's a game that always stands the test.
Most definitely. Who's next?
Fez.
Okay, I'll go. All right. Well, basically, starting off, let's make it short and brief with this. COD Ghosts, all right, because I was broke, poor, and wanted for cheap. All right. That's the only reason I'm saying is because it was a good time saver back when I was broke. So at night, that type of deal. I like the whole. I mean, everyone likes that type of first-person shooter that they didn't hack into yet because that's when it came out. You weren't able to hack into the PS3s. So the game was actually stable, but now it's actual dog shit, so I won't play it. But it was a good game. There was that. All right. We got number 4. All right. Lego Batman 2. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay.
Lego games are fire.
All right.
I'm saying.
I had to sit here and I had to like literally go through because you guys had to make me think because I everything I own is like before like 2000 around, and I don't own all that much stuff that's fairly new. So I went off to games that I actually thought were actually fun for me to play. Lego Batman 2 straight up was, because that overworld was pretty dope. You had to find everything. You had to do all this extra stuff, and there was a lot to do. And I mean, hey, I was playing it with my kids, so it was a pretty decent time. You know what I'm saying, to say the least. I mean, I like how they pretty much added that, because the first Lego Batman didn't have that shit where you can just go around like GTA and just start beating everybody up you wanted to see in a Lego game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. All right. Number 3, South Park, Stick of Truth, because nobody, all right, even their right mind would make an RPG into a fucking South Park game, but they did it. Okay.
They did a good job at that too.
It was a good one too. I don't even blame you.
Yeah, it was actually really good. I liked the story of how stupid it was. All right. I liked when they said you have to find Jesus and he was in the church. They weren't lying.
Oh my god.
They weren't lying. You want to find Jesus? He's in the church. And we had to find him, and we found him. All right. I mean, it was just all in all different game, and you can do it with different characters. I know other people would say Fractured But Whole would be, you know, like the better, the predecessor of it. It'd be so good. You know what I mean? That's probably
The
like
title alone deserves a spot.
Yeah, but I mean, Stick of Truth is kind of where it started, and that's kind of like where that was the foundation. So that's where I like that shit. All right, number 2. All right, A Hat in Time. Okay.
A Hat in Time.
And if you guys don't know what A Hat in Time is, all right, it got swept under the rug when Mario Odyssey came out. Right?
Yep, Odyssey did it.
Yeah, it literally got yeeted under the rug, yeeted somewhere through the rug, through the wall. All right, but no one. Yeah, if you guys actually play that game, I spent $17 on it because my daughter wanted it. You know what I'm saying? And I went to go ahead and play it, and it has some of the best physics I've ever seen for a game, that you can just double jump in place or ride a scooter, or just you put on all these different hats and they give you different, you know, powers and stuff like that. And I think it's a really, really good game for, you know, it coming out, you know, just a couple of years ago when Odyssey came out. I mean, it was a really good game. Like I my kids 100%ed it. I even helped out with that aspect of it, you know. But it was a really good game. And number 1, I mean, everyone knows Mario Maker.
It is.
All right. The reason why I'm saying number 1 on Mario Maker is because if it wasn't for the Mario Maker community, me being around that aspect in general, I wouldn't even be sitting here right now talking with y'all today. I wouldn't even have met Benj. Yeah, seriously, straight up, I wouldn't. Like straight up, like
don't get us crying, bro. Dang, come on now.
Yo, the feels.
You already did made me.
I ain't making you cry right now. I ain't trying to do all that, but I'm just saying, like, it's just a chain reaction. I think the Mario Maker brought together a lot of people, a lot of positive people. All right, you know what I'm saying? And you know, we'll get to the negative in the personal changes part of the segment, but
oh heck yeah!
All right, but
yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, everybody had pretty much met through some form of communication between each other, and look at us.
Yeah.
You know,
look at us now, baby.
Yeah, but I'm saying Mario.
I met Dino through anime. Ew.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
I met everybody through anime.
Yeah, the pain.
But Mario Maker in general, just as a game, all right, some of the best physics that, like, normally I'm an old school gamer, and I've never really done like half the Kaizo stuff that game makes you do. Okay, and I learned all of that with little to no effort, like doing a midair. Okay, I can proudly say that I can do a midair in Mario Maker without sitting here crying about it. You feel me? all I gotta do is just go in there and make a play and do it, and it's easy. Like, and I'm telling you, I practiced on a level that straight up was a midair into a spike, like a 1-frame spike little gap just to hit the goal. And I'm like, man, you know, it's one of those things where you gotta, if you're gonna get it, you better get it right. But I'm just saying that whole game introduced a whole. Oh man, oh man,
it make you go like Kratos.
Yeah, no, I'll tell you the reason why I like it the most. I'll say, like, Supa, all right, Supa Patuka, shout out to him, all right. He makes some of the best levels, right? I somehow soft lock myself on his level, all right. He had a key point level, my guy, all right. I jump over the goal, all right. I go check out his little castle, the aesthetic for it, and I just jump up and I land on a cloud that locks me in.
Dang.
And after I got every single one of his key coins and did all his fuck ass rooms, all right, and pretty much had to do it again just to prove to myself that I could do it. So I did it a second time, dude. I was all upset. I was like, did I just key death? I was like, I gotta do it all over again. But that's just the fun part about Mario Maker back then. But now that, like, key death's, like, you get key death in a level, I'd say like 85% of the time the level creator will definitely give you that key back. You know what I mean? But now, I mean, it's good. It's good now in the Mario Maker community for key deaths. But yeah, there's my top 5. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, and you made me think, and I don't like to think.
Well,
It's Dino's turn.
Those are good though. We'll rock with it for sure.
yes.
Dino, you
Alrighty.
oh my guy.
Well, my top for everything. Street Fighter. No, I'm just joking.
Oh my god. Oh my.
No, yeah, I'm sure it is.
No, I was about
It's
to.
there somewhere.
This motherfucker gonna say
It's
Street
in
Fighter
there.
5?
It's
No,
somewhere.
I was about to
It's
slap
in
you
there.
through the damn Discord,
It's
bro.
in there.
absolutely not.
Oh my
It's
god.
there.
So my
No, he's
list is
lying.
actually different, but I'm gonna give honorable mention. I only do this because my list is weird, and you guys will see here in a
Dang
bit.
it.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is my honorable mention,
Oh
Because-
shit!
just
about
because of the impact that Smash community has, and of course that it's a brand new game that really got people back into it, and new people too. Like
Yeah.
there's so many new people that came into the game as well because they're like, oh my, like so many people are hyping up Smash, and I know a friend of mine played Smash before, and here's Ultimate on the Switch, and this and that. So Super Smash Bros. Ultimate had to be an honorable mention.
Hearts too.
But for real, Smash Ultimate, despite all the rages and stuff,
Oof.
pretty good game.
Yeah.
Alrighty, number 5. Here's my number 5. Super Mario Maker. Obviously, I have it in the top 5 due to its longevity. It was one of the games that kept people the most. And what I mean by that is the community, out of all the games I've seen, Super Mario Maker had the biggest longevity out of everyone. In my opinion, Super Mario Maker 1 was that type of thing. And it kept it going until the Super Mario Maker 2 release. And this is why my list is weird. I actually have Super Mario Maker 2 as my number 1. But I'll get into that here why in a bit. My number 4 is Super Mario Odyssey. Now, the reason why Super Mario Odyssey was basically my top 5 was mainly that it gave me the Mario 64 vibes. I actually loved the way that they approached Odyssey with this new kick to it, but also the nostalgia that comes from 64, which I thought was insane because the moment I played Odyssey, I was like, wow, this really reminds me of 64. It's huge. It just gave me that nostalgia factor. So that was one of the things that really just kept going with me when
Was
it
it the
came to that
mechanics?
game.
Was it the mechanics?
For Odyssey,
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
Low-key? Okay.
Yeah, because when you think about it, when you compare 64 and that, I mean, they both use different controllers and stuff, which is kind of hard to compare unless you have an N64 controller for the Switch. But honestly, I mean, either or, the gameplay did give me that reminiscence, and it was like I think they even said that Mario 64 was like the inspiration that they used to create Odyssey.
Right.
So
Oh, okay.
I mean, Odyssey definitely had to be a top 5 for sure. Number 3. Now this was really tough because I have a number 2 and a number 3. This is gonna be very controversial, but I'll kind of explain why because this is different for me and just me as a person. I put Persona 5 as number 3. Obviously, as everyone else said, the game is great. There's endless amount of content. I think it's 95 hours of full content, but it doesn't mean that you're gonna have 95 hours to complete it.
Facts.
It's gonna take you much longer. It's just that there is 95 hours of content. That just shows you how long Persona 5 is. It's definitely one of the best RPGs in this decade. Period. No question. I don't think any RPG can compare. Heck, I don't even think any RPG can compare in the 2000s in general. Because
That's
Persona
true.
5 just offered so much.
It did.
It did, yeah. Infinite.
Yeah, like there was just so much in Persona 5 that you could love the music. Probably some of the best music. The music has definitely
Don't get me
has-
started.
Yes, you can't go wrong with the music. You can't go wrong with the length of the game. You can't go wrong with the story. There was just so much to it that Persona 5 is just definitely one of the best RPGs of 2000. I would say it could even be in the top 3 for me, and comparing it to every RPG in the world. It's just a great game. So that was definitely my top third for that one. Number 2, this one's gonna be different. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel.
Oh, I knew that guy was in there somewhere.
Honestly,
The
I'm honestly
reason why I
surprised.
put this one higher is because obviously Crash Team Racing was something I grew up with as a kid and stuff. So it was one of those old school games that I really loved. And Nitro Fueled was literally everything I was asking for.
Yeah.
It has customizables, character selection, old and new playstyles combined with the story mode that is still the same, and you can adjust the leveling system. There's easy ways for boosting. I mean, the character selection literally is like 4 times more. You can play online with people, which was never a thing before. You know, you have the shortcuts, you have strategy in this game. Basically using the old vibe, connecting with the new one, and creating it to be something fantastic. I love Mario Kart, don't get me wrong, but Nitro Fueled makes Mario Kart look like shit. And I'm honest when I say that. If you guys have not picked up this game, do it. It's actually one of the best racing games you will ever play.
The
So
only
is it
reason why
less
I'm like,
annoying than Mario Kart?
Well, the items, obviously. I mean, those
I was
types
gonna
of
get to that
games
too,
always
yeah.
have that craziness with items and stuff, but it's really fun. I mean, I speedrun that game as well. So I speedrun Mario World, but I also speedrun Crash Team Racing, both the old and the new one. And honestly, with the new one, I feel like I get more, I don't know, I feel like I can see the open spots here and there quicker than I did with the old one, which is really cool. So when I went back to the old version, I was actually able to pick up some new skills that I learned from the new version, which is really cool. So I mean, Crash Team Racing in general just has much more detail, I would say, than Mario Kart in terms of what you need to do. And I think it's very easy to learn if you put hours into it as well.
Gotcha.
So it's a really fun game. So what's my number 1?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, what was my number 5?
Super Mario Maker.
So what's my number 1?
Mario
Oh
Maker
my
2.
God.
Mario
This
Maker
man
2.
went-
Mario Maker 2.
Remix, boy.
The
Hit 'em with
remix
the
is
remix.
number 1. Now, the reason why was obviously the longevity, and we all knew that Mario Maker was going to be this huge thing that everyone would just continually play because there's endless levels. Now imagine endless levels with more features, more things. They made it even better. So obviously you have to pick Mario Maker in general because everyone, literally almost everyone had it as the number 1.
Okay.
Almost everyone. Who didn't
I
have
see.
it number 1 here?
I didn't have Mario Maker on my list at all. I
Okay.
don't think.
Shame.
Okay. Because I swear, I was like, wait, everyone have it as number 1. Obviously, though, Maker for real, the entire thing, Maker 2, Maker 1, whatever, it was probably one of the best games that had longevity and community and a lot of these other important things. So definitely Mario Maker 2. There's nothing more you can say about it. I mean, all the features that come with it, you know, playing online, endless levels, you know, you can create your own level the way that you want it and that you want other people to play it too, which is just awesome. Just continually sharing and, you know, being able to give feedback as well with stars, and you know how that goes. But Mario Maker 2 for sure, number 1. But what's my super number 1?
Super number 1.
Oh my god.
This man lied.
Come on, man.
He said super number 1.
I'm done. I'm absolutely done.
Sound effect. Oh my god, this man said
Jesus.
super number 1. Wait, that's Count from freaking Sesame Street.
Hold on. I gotta say this real quick. While it's on my mind,
I love it.
I got 2 very honorable mentions. So my top 5 is what I think to be my favorite, or the best games that I played, in my opinion, that I loved. But I have 2 more that I'd like to mention. One would be Spider-Man PS4 by Insomniac.
Oh yes.
So
I can vibe with
both
that.
of these titles are actually from Insomniac. I love Insomniac. Insomniac's actually my favorite game developer. So Spider-Man PS4 was a masterpiece, coming from somebody who grew up playing the original Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. I fell in love with this game instantly. I think it had a lot of the good vibes that came from both of those two games, plus a lot of new stuff that made it very enjoyable. Waiting on a sequel because it ended on a cliffhanger. Anyway, and my second honorable mention, I keep saying mention is, and a lot of people are probably gonna be like, what? Is Ratchet and Clank, the remake that they released in 2016. So for those of you that don't know me, Ratchet and Clank is my favorite game series of all time, alongside of Sly Cooper on the PlayStation 2. And Ratchet and Clank has a special place in my heart, and I would literally play shit on a platter if Insomniac put Ratchet and Clank on it. Like, literally, Ratchet and Clank is my bread and butter. And when they released that game, I think it was fantastic. I think everything about it was just great. It actually made me like it a little bit more than the first one, apart from having nostalgia playing the first one. So yeah, I love those two games with a passion. I think they're great. I think they're overlooked too.
Since we're doing honorable mentions now, Dino started the wave. I'm gonna go ahead and put my two in. Now, one of them mentioned, Flash just mentioned, would have to be Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man PS4, excuse me. Just playing the original games back in the PS2 days and getting that nostalgia from that, and playing that a couple years ago. When did that come out exactly? Came out like this year? I don't know, but that I don't know. It just made me I don't know, like going into that game from the jump, as far as like the web slinging. And from then on out, and going to the story mode and all that stuff, it's been really fun. It really brought out the nostalgic vibes of that from playing the original Spider-Man games for PS2, for like Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. So that's definitely one of my honorable mentions. And the other one would have to be Super Mario Odyssey. Now those are the main two as far as Spider-Man PS4 and Super Mario Odyssey. Those are the main two that are like juggling as far as that being a part of my top 5 list. So it would be a good list, to have it in my honorable mentions. But yeah, I played a little bit of Mario 64 back in the good old days to remember how it was, how it felt like to play. But Super Mario Odyssey really does bring back those vibes of Nintendo's Mario 64, excuse me. And I mean, that's all I have to say with that. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Super Mario Odyssey and Spider-Man's PS4.
Okay, I pretty much I'll throw in an honorable mention because if you want to talk about nostalgia, all right, Horizon Chase Turbo, all right, for PS4. It was free on, I guess, like one of the months before I lost my my plus, I guess. But it pretty much is just like Top Gear, all right, for the Super Nintendo. Okay. If anybody understands those games, it's one of those you go left and right, and there's cars in front of you, that type of deal. But this actually was pretty good. It pretty much made the cars come to life, and I think that right there was just so nostalgic. Hearing the music, even down to some of the music in that game, kind of just brought me back because it was so lit.
Yeah.
So lit. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun.
Got another one, or was that like?
That's pretty much it. Like, that's my honorable mention on it.
I can hear the triggered kids that nobody's mentioning Fortnite.
Yeah, well, too bad.
Fortnite's
just
gone. We
no,
need
like
2019.
Yeah, that game is just gonna live on in the hearts of all those thirsty kids that want to become MLG Pro. But yeah, I do got an honorable mention.
This man.
I got an honorable mention. Nah, it's not Roblox.
Roblox.
Not Roblox. Stop it. Stop it right now.
Jailbreak.
No, it's not jailbreak.
Yeah, open up.
I would tell you this. No one said Metal Gear. No one said Metal Gear, especially Metal Gear. I would go as far as just saying Metal Gear, period. Such a legendary franchise. Man, I would never forget the legend that was like Metal Gear Solid. I even remember when the PlayStation 3, or no, it was the PlayStation 2 era, and they had Metal Gear Sons of Liberty. Oh my God. I nearly died, and it was so good. And it's like Metal Gear. Oh man, I just wish that we would have got more of that. I actually wound up picking up Phantom Pain. I don't know what was wrong with me. I didn't try it out. I think I was just annoyed because I was getting lost again. Because I'm bad. I'm like Zoro. I get lost all the time. So I kind of just like rage quit it because I was getting lost so bad. And then my next honorable mention, just one of those. Oh God, like. What the heck was that? It was man. It's hard for me to turn away from that game, but because that game was too far back though. But I'm trying not to break the rules here.
Man,
Say it. Go ahead, say it. Damn it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Say
Do it.
Fine.
right now.
Fine, I will. I will. It's no, it ain't Roblox.
Oh my God.
He wants to say it. Rage. He wants to say it so bad. Go ahead and say it.
Rage, no. Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage, my friend. Oh my God. That's like the beat 'em up of my childhood. I played that game more than it. Streets of and I'm still fiending for some info on Streets of Rage 4. It's like we're not getting crap on that game yet. We only get little titty. Oh, daggum! That did not come out right.
Look. A titty bit? You get a little. Is Vince discriminating against little titties?
Where's the family?
I don't know. I don't know.
That family friendly badge.
Like, you know what? Kingler stole it. That's what happened. Kingler stole it.
Vince is a savage.
It's like,
I'm saying.
Kingler stole it, huh?
yeah, he
Shout out to
stole it,
Kingler.
man.
Shout out to King.
He stole it. Now you got to give it back by tomorrow.
Yo, dead ass. So, even though this is coming out next year, the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga is gonna beat all this shit.
Yo, are you serious?
Yes, I'm sorry. That's gonna be. Have you not seen that CD?
No,
Dude, it's every Star Wars movie into one. They're doing it's called Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. And they got a trailer out for it, and it's coming out like early 2020, and the shit looks flames, and it's gonna beat all these games. I'm sorry,
I'm definitely playing that,
dude. I'm streaming the whole thing.
Yes, I'm streaming.
Dude, Lego Star Wars is unbelievable.
Just from the nostalgia of playing Lego Star Wars back in 2005. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to play that again. Dude, I'm so excited for that now.
They just released a new trailer like 3 days ago. But anyway, yeah.
I gotta watch that.
It's gonna be fire. It's gonna be fire. But yeah, man, I don't know. I mean, I'm very surprised that nobody mentioned GTA 5.
Oh, Steffi did.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Because
she mentioned it.
GTA 5 could also be just as far up as the longevity as Mario Maker. If you
that is
like,
true.
Like
that is true.
And GTA 5 with how large it is too is one of the most impressive games I've ever seen. It's not one of my favorites. It's not on my list, so don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna be one of those guys, but I can acknowledge the fact that it's a fucking impressive game. Like it's big time.
Yeah,
it's
you can
super
definitely
fun.
acknowledge that game as far as being longevity wise, but. For some reason, I always looked at GTA 5 as one of those games as where it's just like I just go mess around and just raise havoc. So
really,
I never really gave it a consideration. But doing my research and with being in on so many people's lists, it really makes sense as to why it's up there in the ranks because of longevity wise. So I definitely give credit to that. But as far as personally, not too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like how they pretty much, incorporated the 3D aspect even in 4. You remember how 4 when it came out?
Yeah.
Like that kind of introduced it all, and they pretty much just took it broader and broader. And yeah, it's been lasting for years, man. What, the last like 7, 8 years, something like that. It's just been up on the up. And I mean, some of the community of it is pretty good. I mean, they make their plays. I can't hate on the game because the game actually does bring back that natural nostalgia of like they do throw those tidbits of like, oh yeah, there's some San Andreas or something that went on Vice City or something like that. You know, like Easter eggs.
Yeah. Legend.
So Dino, what's you had like a third topic, and I get it confused with the topic that we're supposed to do for next week. So if you want to go ahead and say it so I don't mess it up, that'd be great. Because I always think it's gonna be
wasn't
like
about the regrets.
Yeah,
Nah, just
2019 regrets.
yeah, something
And
you
then-
changed.
Yeah.
How would you like
it says personal changes in 2020. We'll do that in 2020.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
We'll talk
So
about
that's something else.
Gotcha.
Okay, so this one is just 2019. What is something you regret? And
Ooh.
I got a big one. I got a big one. So, one big thing that I regret in 2019 is something I actually did, on here, on streams and YouTube videos and stuff like that. Is I actually, I went out in the real world. I got a job. I completely changed, just about changed myself. Everything that I'm into and what I do. And when I did that, I did not balance my time. I didn't know how to balance my time well at all. And when I went and got a job and I went and did stuff, I stepped away from content creation completely. And I wish I could go back and kind of help myself be better at time management to where I didn't walk away from everybody that watched me. And I mean, everybody understood. I told everybody. I didn't just disappear. Just at the time, at the age, and stuff like that, I had no idea how to combine everything and keep it going. So I just kind of stepped away. And once you step away like completely, it's hard to come back, man. It's you want to do, I mean, CD knows this. CD's actually stepped away and he's actually come back, and it's a hard thing to do. And I still don't know if CD's back completely.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say like, because I was gonna say that also, as far as just like just dealing with the same issue also, just really just getting caught up with the real world. And it's really, I just really had a hard time just trying to struggle just with trying to balance everything. And then eventually with dealing with the content creation and trying to deal with the real world stuff, you can kind of get burnt out per se. And so the main thing that I would kind of get rid of, or not get rid of, but like I wouldn't have energy for it, would be the content creation. And I kind of just looking back at throughout the year, I'm really kind of disappointed in myself in how I handled it, because I really want to be there for the people that support me, but you know how life goes, and it's really a struggle.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That's definitely like one of the things that I'm really disappointed in, and I'm really going to try to improve on coming 2020, because I really I really love the people that support me, and I really love the people, or just really love doing this as a whole. So I really want to make time for it, and so I'm gonna definitely work on that towards the 2020, starting a new decade. So
I'll say this before I pass my torch. My ex-girlfriend actually knows about this podcast, and I'm pretty sure she listens sometimes. So you know what, you f***ed my year up. So you ruined my f***ing year. You ruined my f***ing year. Okay, biggest regret. Okay,
You upset my son.
Okay.
I don't appreciate it.
all right, let's okay, I'm ready to pass the torch. I'm good. I had to get that off my chest.
It's okay, my boy. It's okay. Let it go. Let me stop. Okay.
Please,
so,
no. Please. Please, please do not sing that song.
I will
Thank
not
you in
sing that
advance.
song.
What song?
We're not even gonna go there.
No.
We're not even gonna go there.
No.
We're not getting banned. All right, so I got actually two. Funny thing is, one of them is like a lifetime regret. Well, up to this point, but let's start with the real spit, which is the 2019 spit. I feel like my greatest regret in terms of 2019 would have to be being too, it's like being too kind. It's like I'm one of those type of dudes where I give too many chances. Like, I try to be reasonable, but a lot of times there have been a lot of instances where those people will take advantage of that, and somehow, some way, it always screws me over. I've been betrayed so many times, whether it's a viewer or a former associate that was once a stream, like, that I once associated with as like streamer or whatever the case may be. You know, I've just been hit so many times, and it's like I finally got fed up. I real talk, like, I already banned one person, like, real quick, because, like, dude tried to, you know, like, profit or get some extra by, you know, DMing people as Discord, and you know, like, he would DM every Discord, his Discord, like, that's, and say that junk is not self-promotion. Yes, it is. Like, it's like talking to that dude was like watching paint dry.
Yeah,
The problem is paint actually dries. He doesn't. Now, the last regret is more of a lifetime thing. I know I shouldn't have threw that in there, but I figured I'd throw that in there because that is something that I'm working on, like, as of right now. And, you know, like, throughout my life, I've been bullied, blah, 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 all because of the glasses and everything. And I'm not going to lie. I was a cream puff, okay? I was very weak-minded, you know, when I was in high school and all that, because, you know, I always got picked on because I was so soft in terms of my attitude. And, you know, I get upset so easily. And because of all of that, that really kind of, like, let's say that just kind of ruined my charisma, if I would. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. Ruined my charisma to the point where a lot of things I would kind of shy away from, and I was more of a withdrawn person. And due to all of that, you know, I didn't really. It's not that, you know, I could talk to women fine, but I never really made an effort to actually get involved in a relationship. I did, and when I do, I get triggered real quick. Like, whether it's somebody do something stupid, like tell me to tuck my damn shirt in at the theater, I'm like,
bro,
nah,
I remember that, dude.
I'm not doing that.
Really?
Like, yeah, legit told me that. Tuck my shirt, dude. I don't need a second mother, okay?
I'd be like, I'm sorry, I just got off work. Who are you?
You know, so I literally shot that shit down real quick. I didn't even call. I didn't attempt anything. I said nothing. It was done. Now, like, that is slowly changing. You know, like, I actually, you know, met somebody and I worked with them for about 2 years or whatever. So, yeah, we're going to see how that goes in the year 2020. So, we'll see how that goes.
I guess I'm up.
I'll go up because it seems like Street Fighter 5 Super #1 motherfucker right here.
That statement right there should have been Dino's #1 regret.
We can add that.
Dead ass.
No, but straight up, I'll go straight up.
Okay.
My biggest regret for 2019, all right, it probably stems back from the beginning of the year when I went to PAX, all right, was not knowing what I know now, all right, and it probably would have changed a lot of things knowing what I know now, and I probably wouldn't have associated myself with a certain person, you know, if I knew it. But my biggest regret most definitely, yeah, is making friends with a total fuckboy that uses a friendship for his own gain. That's my biggest regret. and I hope it don't happen to nobody damn else. I hope everyone has a genuine friendship and shit like that with people. But for me, I mean, like now it made me wiser to just not let that many people into my little circle. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the worst, man.
Yeah, I
Sure.
mean, especially everything that happened the last couple of months, like that. I mean, that type of thing has been weighing on me because I'm the one that was closest to it. You feel me?
Right.
And I just pretty much man, I just want to be stronger and wiser for the future, and just be like, man, fuck that clown. I got shit to do. I got things to do.
Oh my god. Whoever did, was that Venge? Was that Venge?
That was on me.
Son of a bitch.
Y'all had the sound effects, bro.
After Dino, I got something to say, so I'll hold it. Go for
Man,
it.
bro, you always got something to say.
I
so
know.
fucking say it.
I'm waiting for Dino. Nah, I'm gonna be
No,
fair.
say it right now.
Get it out, bro. Get it out,
So
man.
in 2019, you know, I'm just saying a lot of shit went wrong for me. A lot of stuff went right. I'm very blessed. But you know, in 2020, we're keeping the grass short. We're seeing the snakes. I'm not wearing my heart on my sleeves. If you guys know me, you'll know that I'm the type of person I'll do whatever I can for you as long as I'm able. You know what I'm saying? Like I will give you the shirt off, you know, my back for you. Like that's straight up how it is. And you know, I've had my heart broken this year. I've had, you know, straight up mentalities changed over friends this year of who to trust. Can I have my friends? Luckily I've had this group right here to fall back on because I've never questioned this group. I think it's amazing. But as far as my real life stuff goes, I hope to work on that. And that's my biggest regret in 2019 is doing too much for people that have no interest in putting any effort forward to me. So.
That's true. I wouldn't even say for me is that like just real quick. I wouldn't even say for me as far as like putting a lot of effort in people, you know, that don't really care about me. I would just really say about like just putting in effort a lot of people, not really being, you know, selfish, because you know I'm the type of person that's like, even though sometimes I don't really want to do it, I still go out of my way to help people out the best way I can, and that can really get in the way of what I have going on.
Right.
So I definitely say, like, you know, come, you know, 2020 and moving forward, I have to be a little bit more selfish to the point, you know, I have to really, you know, do what's best for me at the end of the day sometimes.
Treat yourself like a king when no one else does.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a great way to phrase that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all right, now Dino's good.
Well, hold on, I'm gonna add on to that.
Oh my!
I'm gonna add on.
I'm sorry, Dino.
Just saying. No,
Sorry,
no,
Dino.
if you ever have the fucking discomfort and you ever think that you ain't shit, just look in the mirror and just be like, yeah, I'd fuck me. All right, and then you're done.
This man.
Dino, you got the floor, sir.
All right. I actually have a few things. First off, I let my YouTube channel with no uploads this entire year. I'm not
That's true.
the happiest when it came to that, but I had my reasons. This was my best year for streaming ever. Like, this was insane. Like, I've had the best support this freaking year, but I did kind of let my YouTube channel kind of dwindle down. So what I want to do is I want to change that. I want to start uploading consistently, definitely for 2020. I had a lot of big projects that were supposed to happen in 2019, but again, I was just really focused on streaming and making sure that the community that I've got, I want them to have somewhere to stay and have something to enjoy. So I was very heavy on the streams, and streaming was definitely my priority. So one thing I definitely regret is not uploading, because I should have, and there's probably people on the YouTube side who are not on Twitch. It's definitely possible that would have loved to see if I posted a video here and there, and I should have. So that's one of my biggest regrets. My next one, overthinking. Throughout this entire year, I've been overthinking, whether it's my friends, whether it's business stuff, everything. One time, basically, when you make something like this your job, you just kind of wonder if people are there for you, if people are there for you in terms of the other way where they want to use you, or just thinking that people hate you or whatever. That overthinking thing sucks, and I think in 2019 I had some of the biggest when it came to that. So yeah, it sucked.
I can relate to you, Dino. I mean,
Same.
that's pretty much that's anxiety 101. You know what I mean?
I hate overthinking.
That's all it is anxiety.
Right. Because the problem is, like, you know, you have all those people that like you and this and that. And I'm grateful, you know, but then you have those people who are like longtime supporters, but in the shadow, they're like, wow, like this freaking guy, like look at him succeeding and stuff. Like, why didn't he help me? Like, I'm sure there's one guy that's saying that. And that's what I think. Maybe I'm overthinking that. I don't know. But there is always going to be those people that are really jealous of what you have. And it's like, as much as I'd love to help everyone, I can know if you're just there to use me. Like, if you're here for me, I know. And if you're not here for me, I know too. And that's what that's just the overthinking of it. And that's been like the worst thing for me this year. Freaking ridiculous.
Most definitely.
The last one I had, I thought about it and I'm like, well no. Was starting the podcast earlier. Now, this was my thing before, because I was like, I had like a New Year's resolution last year.
Yeah, that's true. I remember you
Oh,
talking
I want to start a podcast right away. Obviously, we started it really late, but I'm glad that we did, and that's why I put no by my notepad. The reason why is because if I did the podcast starting this year, this thing right now would not exist. I know that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I'm glad that because I didn't do it, we were able to make the roast house be what it is today.
That's the thing too, because like I would have probably, not because of, you know, I would prefer other people, but because of at the time a different selection of people were free when podcasts were brought up. So I think the roster would have been different.
Oh yeah.
So you know, so not only the name, I think everything just flowed perfectly with this podcast, man. Because like one day, I just joked around, I threw out the name, because like I was like, you know, I'm gonna do this because I'm just roast people, because that's what I do all day. And
we ain't no fake ass bitches, man.
and you know, everybody was like, oh shit.
Telling you how it is and how it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
y'all stripped me of my family-friendly badge.
I feel like I have to say this. I feel like I have to say this at least once every episode.
Man, that shit made out of tinfoil, man. Get rid of it.
I think like this man Vinge is gonna get a bloody asshole with tinfoil.
What?
I mean, look. If you wipe with tinfoil, you gonna bleed.
I don't wipe with no freaking tinfoil. What the hell?
I don't know. Somebody said tinfoil. I was a little uncomfortable.
I'm like, dude, like, I mean, I'm already like worried about other things. I don't need to worry about tinfoil.
Don't worry. Flash confirmed it. He already knows your ass bleeds when you wipe your ass with tinfoil.
Dude.
Of course it does. It might have been a dare, man. I don't.
Exposed.
Might have been a dare.
I don't know. I mean, it's just, you know, random stuff comes to my head. I don't know. It's just one of those, you know. I mean,
it's the ridges, bro.
I mean, it's like when looking at Nappy. It's one of those things like where you're taking a shit. It's like you're shitting so damn hard. It's like your asshole starts to bleed, and you realize toilet paper ain't gonna cut it. You need baby wipes.
Yeah.
Like, you know. No, it wasn't supposed to be, but it works as well.
I guess
But how did we get to this point?
But you know, I mean,
I
don't know. It's
randomness.
Just bloody assholes, man. What are you gonna do?
Anyways, oh my god, let's get off this topic, please.
Hold on.
It's funny that y'all say that as far as it's like how the podcast flowed together, because I was just, you know, I was talking about you guys about it and how I did a little podcast with some of my college friends, you know, for a little bit. That died off, and I was thinking about for the longest this year. I was like, okay, I want to get like a solo podcast, you know, going in 2020 in the works. And I didn't really know, as far as like you guys' interest in it, as far as like the podcast. I know that Flash talked about it. Donald's been talking about it all year, so I knew that. And just when everything how like you flow together and seeing how it's becoming now, it's been really dope for sure. And I'm glad
my original plan
came
was
this
just
way.
like CDs, just start it solo and just like have a guest or something.
Right.
Oh, okay. Mhm.
But what we're doing is special.
That's why I like this. I'm glad that we went with that.
I'm gonna like
I can't give it up now.
this thing's
I was
perfect,
thinking
dude.
about it. Like, as much as it would have been cool to do like a solo thing, have guests every time, and people can hear like perspectives of all these different people. I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know what? At the same time, not many people would care about every single guest that's on the thing. So the fact that it's all of us in this and everyone gets to know all of us every single episode all the time, like it's more of a community thing. I think this would have worked
this is
out
dope
better.
as hell.
Yeah,
Right.
Whew, I love this, dude.
Yeah.
No,
That's
but
something else.
this podcast, man, is very special. I feel like I have to say this briefly, like every episode almost, because we have so many new listeners, especially with the new expansion of platforms we're on now, thanks to CD.
Yeah.
But man, this podcast is so special, man. Everybody in here, what you're hearing is straight up what you get if you join a Discord with us. It's straight up just chilling. We had these conversations almost every night in Vinge's Discord. And,
Literally.
One day we were just like, why don't we just throw this on a podcast? Because I mean, when I tell you guys how it's mutual between all of us, but I'm very grateful for all these guys, man. Dino and Vinge specifically really changed the way that I've seen a lot of things in life, and I owe a lot to them. And I mean, Fez, I literally haven't even known you as like a friend for that long, but I feel like we're brothers, dude. Like, because like I've watched Fez for a while, but when I a couple months ago joined Vinge's Discord, talked to Fez. This dude's like the realest motherfucker, and he is awesome, dude. Like, and CD's pretty. He already knows. CD's like a brother to me. I go to CD about a lot of personal shit sometimes, and CD's the homie. And I just love this group so much. I love that we can hop on unfiltered and just talk shit. And that's the glory of the One Piece. Hello, Roast House podcast.
One Piece on
I was looking at. I was looking at a One Piece poster. It might have been a swimsuit, but we don't talk about that. Anyway,
Is it Nami swimsuit, bro?
But I don't know. Hey, we don't need details, bitch. But it's just one of those things, man. It's this is great. I love it.
For sure. You can't beat it.
Yep. So
Damn, man.
Whew.
You guys got anything else to talk about? How long have we been?
it's 2 hours. We're right here at 2 hours.
2 hours, baby.
Yeah.
I'm about to say, I'm like, wait.
You guys got anything else you want to bring up at all?
Actually, shit.
Let's go, man. Yo,
What you
I
got?
have all the time in the world.
Yeah,
Let's go. Let's go. If you got something, let's go.
Well, you have a good topic. Yo, this is gonna be a surprise for all of us. What's up?
I don't have that long, but I'm down to go.
No,
a little
I'm
bit
just
of
gonna
time.
shout out stuff. Because we've been going for
Oh,
2
okay.
hours.
I'm gonna be real. Like, you guys know, once I get talking and I'm on a topic, I can go all night. So, I think the number one thing is a little commercial. So make sure you guys are following the Roast House podcast on all of our social media. You can find us at Roast House PC on Twitter, Roast House PC on Twitch. Of course, if you're listening now live, you can find us on Roast House PC on SoundCloud and the Roast House podcast on YouTube. A new thing now is we've actually been on Spotify for a little bit, but we're now on Google Podcasts, which is dope. Apple Podcasts is coming in soon. We also have individual Twitters that you can follow. So we got Dino, we got Vinge, we got Fez, we got CD, and we got myself, Flash, that you can click on the Meet the Team section about the Roast House podcast. You can follow us. We do have a Discord now that we just launched tonight. If you guys have not been keeping up with the chat, make sure you guys join the Discord. I'm going to put it in there right now. If you guys didn't know, we're going to be hopping in there, talking to people about topics maybe. We're going to be talking to people just about life, just hanging in there. You'll get notified when we go live, because I know some people said they couldn't get notified when we went live. So yeah, you'll get everything. I cannot stress enough, the number one place you could probably follow us right now is on the Roast House PC Twitter account. We need everybody on Twitter. Twitter is such a huge platform. And that is where we post all of our updates. If a member's sick, if we're gonna be late, anything that ever could happen, it's gonna go on there first, and then other places after that, of course. But Twitter is the main place to keep up to date with the podcast, people. So make sure you guys follow that if you are able.
Speaking of platforms, while we're on the topic, we just about have done almost all the main platforms that we need as far as a podcast. So now we have Spotify, we have Google Podcasts. We're waiting now for Apple Podcasts to go ahead and get a review and acceptance. So I went ahead and got that done this week as far as submitting. So now we're waiting for that. And once we get that accepted, I will let you guys know through the Discord and Twitter. So be on the lookout for that. So for all my Apple lovers, be sure to check that out.
Heck
But
yeah.
if you're a Google lover, okay.
Yeah.
Google Podcast. This Google Podcast thing is so dope. You guys don't know, you can actually put the Rose House Podcast slapped onto your mobile device in terms of like a home page. Like it'll be on your home screen, just like a regular app.
Yeah,
It's freaking crazy. No, we're
literally
using
the
Google
screen you see.
Podcast. They treat it like it's its own app. It's really freaking cool. So if you want to listen to the podcast through that, it's available. Rose
One
House.
thing I'm pissed about Android. It's so customizable, dog.
yeah.
Like, that's freaking
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, I like it too. You seen it? I sent you a picture.
I'm
of that. I was
on
like,
Apple.
I was like, I'm in there.
Right.
All right. Deadass though. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the 4th episode of the Roast House Podcast. Been Flash, one of your hosts. We got Dino, Venge, CD, Fez, the whole crew. We've been appreciate you guys tuning in. And
Last one, 2019.
heck yeah,
I'll
dude.
tell you this straight up. I'll see you motherfuckers next year on the
Yeah,
next
we
podcast.
see you next
Yeah, we'll see you guys next year, next
Fucking
Friday
love y'all.
at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's gonna be lit.
Same time, same place, same
Yeah,
channel.
last episode of the year.
place, but with no
Same
pedos this time.
Yeah, no.
We don't have niggas making their own freaking calling couch.
For those of
there
you
will
that's
be
staying
no
up,
pedophilia
For those of
in
you
the
staying up,
crack
I'm gonna be in the Discord for a little bit, so not that long, but just for a little bit. So that's how.
You're gonna be up,
But,
instead of you going and lifting weights, you're gonna be sitting in Discord.
Lifting weights. What is this? I'm sick.
Yikes.
But I will catch you guys later. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Peace.
Peace.